Seattle law, sexual exploitation is the crime of patronizing a prostitute. What's more, the captain who was arrested is part of a unit that ensures professionalism among Seattle police officers. SPD Captain Randall Woolery is on administrative leave after his fellow officers arrested him on Wednesday night on suspicion of sexual exploitation, exchanging money for sex. It happened during an undercover vice operation in North Seattle. Woolery was released on $1,000 bail and has not been charged, but the Seattle Municipal Court notified him charges are pending. According to an archived webpage, Woolery served on the leadership team of the Society for Integrity in Force Investigation and Reporting, a nonprofit organization that examines police use of force incidents. His bio's no longer on that website. In addition to his police duties, Woolery serves on the Snohomish County Fire District 7 Board of Commissioners. A spokesperson for the district declined to comment on the arrest and said the board took no actions Thursday. We tried to reach Woolery this evening but have not been able to get a comment from him. An SPD spokesperson says its Office of Police Accountability is reviewing Woolery's case. They're the ones who investigate misconduct allegations and then make recommendations to the chief on what to do about it. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ted.